What's up YouTube? Marriage expert Brad Browning here with a video on the top 10 signs that your marriage is failing. Let's get straight into it with sign number 1, which is that you feel isolated and lonely in your marriage. Now, studies show that feelings of loneliness and isolation are some of the biggest factors that can lead to divorce. Now, while it is important to have your own hobbies, friends, and life outside of your relationship, it can be destructive when you're not paying enough attention to your spouse. So if you aren't openly communicating with your husband or wife, or even, acknowledging their existence sometimes, it's a sure sign that your marriage is on the wrong path. So in order to address this, make it a point to reach out to your spouse every single day, even if it's a boring question about how their day went. And occasionally, try and have deeper conversations about how they're feeling and see how you can improve any facet of your relationship. In other words, just be their companion. And I can promise you that over time, the feeling of isolation and loneliness is going to subside. And sign number 2, your sexual relationship with your spouse is non-existent. Now, of course, it's natural for sexual chemistry to dwindle in a marriage, especially if you've been married for many years. But if you're not having sex at all or nearly enough, this is a massive sign that your marriage is failing. And this sign is a lot more common than people think. According to one survey, almost 12% of marriages are completely sexless. Now, if you aren't having sex with your husband or wife, then honestly ask yourself why. I mean, sure, life gets hectic. I mean, maybe you work too much or the kids are always getting in the way, but you should always try and allocate time for romance and intimacy with your spouse. If the desire to have sex is completely gone, however, then there might be deeper issues at play which need to be addressed. And let's move on to sign number 3, finances are stressing you out. Now, financial stress can cause a lot of marital problems if you let it. So if your bank account is in dire straits, it can be difficult to find the time and energy to be intimate and romantic with your partner. Now, according to several studies, lower income families are harder hit by stressful life events and are more mired by mental health issues than higher income couples. So being stressed about anything has also been proven to lower your IQ by up to 1 standard deviation, and thus you're far more likely to make irrational decisions that could further harm your marriage. When money is a big issue, it can be difficult to address. But it is important to have open communication with your partner and work together as a team. So that means, setting a budget that you can both agree on and finding ways to live within your means. Although life can get you down, navigating through these issues with your life partner can bring you two closer than you were before. All right, sign number 4 is you fight way too much. Now, of course, this one's a bit of a no-brainer, but some couples don't know when to put their gloves down. Really, in any marriage, it's healthy to have, a little bit of bickering here and there. It does show that you care and that you're willing to fight to improve your overall situation. But when the fighting is nonstop, you really can kiss your marriage goodbye. Now, there is no one solution to fixing a marriage that's mired with arguments. It really all depends on the context. But if you are looking for customized help in fixing your marriage, then head over to marriageguy.com/coaching to see how you can get email coaching from yours truly. Again, that's marriageguy.com/coaching, and you can hit up the page after this video is over. And sign number 5 is you don't fight enough. Now, like I said in sign number 4, it's healthy for a marriage to have some level of bickering. But when there's absolutely none of that at all, apathy might be setting in. When couples don't fight at all, it might simply mean that they don't care about the relationship anymore, or that they've given up, if you will. And this lack of wanting to engage is the complete antithesis of love. So in order to address this, you're going to have to uncover some deeply seated problems in your marriage and address them right away. Because apathy is a massive sign that your marriage is going to fail, so the sooner you can get on this, the better. And sign number 6 is you don't even want to hang out with your spouse anymore. So if you find yourself wanting to hang out with your friends more than you want to spend time with your spouse, then that may be a sign that your marriage is failing. Of course, we all need a moment away from our spouses from time to time, but if you frequently enjoy spending time away from your spouse more than with your spouse, then that is a giant red flag. Now, if you're finding this is the case with you and your partner, try something new and experimental with your spouse. The novelty of the new experience will allow you both to engage with each other and hopefully renew that spark that's been lost. So try and find activities that you both enjoy, and I can promise that your marriage will improve in no time. And sign number 7 is that you find yourself always nitpicking at your marriage. So if you feel like you're always let down or disappointed by your spouse, then it could mean that your marriage isn't doing so well. Of course, if your spouse isn't putting in the effort to do simple things, then that's a separate issue entirely. But if you're always feeling like your partner is falling short, then you should be addressing this issue quickly. Now, one of the biggest problems in marriage is unrealistic expectations. We're constantly bombarded with TV shows, movies, and books that depict marriages that are full of life, amazing sex, unicorns, and rainbows. But in reality, however, finding someone that meets your every desire is almost impossible. So sometimes you have to lower your expectations to a certain degree to make a marriage work. Now, I know this isn't the advice you probably want to hear, But this increased expectation that we have in society is one of the primary drivers of increased divorce rates. And sign number 8 is you find yourself flirting with others a little too much. Now, there isn't really anything wrong with a bit of teasing between friends, but for a lot of couples, flirting crosses the line. Now, of course, we all want to feel attractive to other people, and admittedly, it is great when you know you've been checked out by a member of the opposite sex, but relishing too deeply in this sensation is a sign that you aren't getting your needs met at home. So if you notice that you're wanting to meet new people of the opposite sex, or if you're just flirting way too much, then this needs to be addressed as soon as possible. The video guide that I put up on my website goes over a lot of this stuff, so if you're interested in learning more about how you can improve your marriage to the point where you don't ever want to flirt with anyone else, then head on over to marriageguy.com and watch that video right now. And sign number 9 is that you both refuse to seek help. Now, if your marriage has been on the rocks for a long time, chances are you've sought help already at some point. But if after a few futile attempts you both give up, then this is one of the surest signs that your marriage is doomed. Marriages are obviously not easy, but they aren't designed to be, and they won't improve if neither party is willing to put in the effort. So to address this, seek help yourself, even if your spouse doesn't want to, because there are things that you can do today by yourself that will improve your marriage by leaps and bounds. If you want to learn more, then I again encourage you to head over to marriageguy.com to check out that free video guide that I've got up there on my website. Okay, and sign number 10, finally, you brag about your relationship too much on social media. Now, couples that have it all have nothing to prove, right? They don't constantly brag about each other to other people. Not only is this annoying for people around you, but it also may be a sign that you're trying to overcompensate for something that's lacking. One study showed that the more one spouse feels insecure about their marriage, the more they'll try and make it visible to the world. So instead of doing this, ask yourself honestly why you're posting all these pictures on your Instagram or Facebook. Is it because you're truly happy with your partner, or is it because of something else? Being honest with yourself is one of the most important things you can do to address the problem. Anyways, that just about does it for this marriage advice video. If you have questions, guys, leave them below in the comments, and I will do my best to get back to every single one of you. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.